a home considered large for its time, a two-story building measuring 70 feet long by 25 feet deep, was constructed in the mid-1770s behind the present West Point Historical Museum, approximately where the parking lot to the rear of the building is now. The old home was identified on a French map produced for General Rochambeau in 1781 as preparation for the upcoming Battle of Yorktown. This was a Georgian-style house located in a grove of locust, aspen, and mulberry trees. For more than 145 years, it would serve the West Point community in multiple capacities. At one time, Carter Braxton, a signer of the Declaration of Independence and a member of the General Assembly, occupied the house from 1777 to 1785. He moved there after his former home, Chericoke, in King William County, burned in 1776. Carter Braxton, who lived from 1734 to 1797, was born at Newington in King and Queen County, but lived most of his life in King William County. His time in West Point was the longest in which he lived in any of his many residences. Braxton held many public offices and other titles: House of Burgess Representative, vestryman in St. John's Parish, and elected to the General Assembly to the Continental Congress, where he became a signer of the Declaration of Independence. The house was then passed into the hands of the Taylor family, who accumulated property holdings that included most of the town lots. All of the holdings were absorbed into their farm properties, which became known as the Taylor or West Point Farm. It was at this old building, the only house which was standing in the town at the time and had been a tavern, that the first meeting of the directors of the West Point and Land Company laid the plans for a railroad and water shipping terminal and a thriving community. When local entrepreneur named Frank New purchased the house in 1856, it had been vacant for some time and was being used to shelter cattle and sheep. After major improvements made by Mr. New, the hotel offered a host of amusements and activities as described on the sign, including dances, bowling, a post office, meeting room, as well as lodging. During the Civil War, the Confederate and later the Union Army officers used the hotel as their headquarters. A Union orderly sketched the house when it was occupied by a General Winstar. Not long after the war, Mr. New and his wife, Margaret, passed away, and the hotel started a long decline with several owners. The hotel was destroyed in the fire of 1903. The fire started at Hughes Motor Company, and in a few hours swept through the business district. 52 buildings, including homes, churches, stores, as well as the old Grove Hotel, the town's last tie to the old colonial town of Delaware, were destroyed. The Historical Museum occupies the former L. E. Mumford Bank Building. The building was built in 1905, soon after the devastating fire. More recently, it had been a flower shop with an apartment upstairs.